Hey guys, I hope you're well. Welcome to a free tutorial here in the Tune Room. A beautiful waltz written by the late, great Jerry Holland of Cape Breton Island called In Memory of Herbie MacLeod. And it's featured on The Heart of Cape Breton, fiddle music recorded live along the Cayley Trail, which is a compilation album. But I think the first time that I actually heard it was off of a dear friend, Andrea Beaton's first album, I believe, Licensed to Driver. A great album title. So I'm going to do a beginner version and an intermediate/advanced version. So let's have a listen to the tune right now. 2, 3, 1, 2. Let's get going on the beginner version. And the difference will be with the beginner version, we'll mostly just focus on the melody. We'll throw in a few slurs, a few grace notes, a couple of embellishments. And then after that, we'll get into a bit more of an advanced version where we'll throw in much more droning, double stops, all that kind of stuff. So I'd recommend listening to this a number of times before you actually attempt it. Just a little tip for anyone who's just starting out, that you really want to get the tune in your head before you actually start to play. If you can sing it first, it'll make your life a lot easier when it's time to actually translate it onto the fiddle. I should also mention that this is a waltz in 3/4 timing. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's the rhythm of the tune. Don't worry what that means. I tend to teach more so by ear and orally, how me and I guess 8 generations of of fiddle players before me had learned how to play. But I will provide obviously the sheet music because it is important to a lot of people, and also fiddle tabs with all of the little things that I'm doing on here. I'll also throw the notes up on the screen as we go along as well. So let's just try the very first line. We're going to start on an up bow. So this is up, this is down. So just the first 3 notes. Repeat after me. One more time. Okay, so those are kind of the pickup notes, and then we get to the first part of the tune here. Try that again. Again. One more time. So let's try those 2 lines together. Great. Again. All right, I should mention that with waltzes, they really sway. So it's really hard to play it exactly the same as someone else. And really, you don't want to play it exactly the same as whoever you're playing with. You can kind of like ebb and flow a bit. So someone might play that. They might push that last verse on A. Or some might go. So, and that's okay. So just letting you know that if you hear someone like pushing and pulling a little bit with a waltz, it's totally fine. Don't stress about that, getting the right time signature. I'm going to kind of keep it as like square as I can, just as we introduce it, and then we can get into some ebb and flow there. All right, so let's hop into the next line. Okay, and then this one we're going to do a 3-note down on the down bow. So 3-note slur on the down bow. And then a grace note, as you can see. So that little star asterisk, it stands for a grace note. And a grace note, if you don't know, is just like a little flicker with the note above your melody note. So we're on a first on E. Our grace note is going to be a flick like this. And that really, really slow is... But you don't want to do it slow. Definitely don't want to do it slow. So, and that's something that will come as you don't worry about getting it. Like I say, all of these embellishments are optional. So when we're doing that down bow, we have the second on E, the third on E, and the second on E that comes after that, all on a down bow. Like I said, optional. So again. Okay, the reason I have those on a slur is because if you don't do a slur, it's going to be... Which is okay. Totally fine to do it that way. It's just, it's so much smoother when you can do it all on a down bow. So just throwing that out there. Let's try from the very top with those 4 lines together. Got it? Sounded nice. Again. Next line. Again. And then we have these notes that are a little bit longer, but it's kind of the end of the phrase. So a little grace note at the end there, that is optional as well. And you'll notice between the second on A and the open E and the second on A there in the middle of the phrase, you do that a little bit quick. And if you want, if you're there, you can use the 4th finger as well to make it not so much back and forth from your A to your E string. So... Okay, so let's try from the very top to get all that together. So... Okay, let's try that again. Luckily, there's lots of repetition in this tune, so you don't have to learn a whole whack of new phrases. All right. So you might be wondering, how long do I hold each note? So if you read sheet music, that's great. You can listen. You can look at the sheet music. But if you've listened to the tune enough, then it's just like listening to your favorite song, and you'll know how long to sing it, and you'll know when to stop. So it's very similar with your fiddle. It just translates onto there. So we're going to move on to the next part, and there's tons of repetition except for like the last 5 notes. So let's play until then. So we have... Here. So really, if we take it from... So it's just that second on A, first on A, open A, open A. That's the only thing that's different. And this is the whole A part. So that's great. So let's just try those last kind of two phrases together, because they tend to go together. It's a little harder when you break them up, to be honest. So all right, so let's try from the very top. We're going to put all of that together. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Again, top. All right, so that was the whole A part played twice through. So good on ya. We're gonna move into the B part here. So this first line, we're just gonna go. It's a little bit of staccato if you want. Just it's a nice little addition to throw in every once in a while, or you can just go. One more time. And then, so those that first on E and third on E are on an up bow together. It's pretty important that you get that here. It's not as optional as as in the A part. It's almost like a hammer-on, which we don't have to talk about what that means, but it's pretty quick between your first on E and your third on E. So, okay. That's the next line. Again. So let's try all that together. And then we have. Okay, let's try all that together. Memory game. It's going to lead into something good there. Again. And then we have. Again, a grace note. Again. One more time. And And you may be finding this it is kind of awkward to break these phrases up when they feel like so full and that they need to be together. So don't worry if you're like, oh, I'm feeling lost right now. Once it all comes together, doing this little memory game really, really helps. So let's take it from the top of the B part. So. All right, let's try it again. So this next part has a lot of repetition until the end of it, just kind of similar to the A part there. So and then we go. So let's try that again, and then we'll go into the ending part. So. Ending part. Let's just try that. And then that's the last line. Okay, so let's try from the very beginning of the B part into there, because then we have repetition, and then we have another repetition. So at this point, we know all the notes, we know all the phrases, and you'll see what happens after. So to the beginning of the B. Grace note. Different ending. So coming up next, we kind of go back to the beginning. First part repeated. And then the ending of the A. All right, that's the whole tune. I have practice tracks and guitar tracks and all that kind of stuff, but maybe what we'll do is we'll try it the whole way through for all the beginners, and then we'll move into the intermediate part. So let's start from the very beginning. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. tag. All right, congratulations. You know the tune. So make sure you check out Jerry Holland, his version on YouTube, and play along with that, because it really is a special and beautiful tune. Or you can play along to the practice tracks in the tune room, and feel free to look at all the extra resources that I provide on there. So if you're an intermediate player or an advanced player, we're going to start now, and we're going to do the phrases a little quicker, and we're going to jump into some more embellishments. All right, so if you're an intermediate or advanced player, we're going to start here, and we're going to just run through the melody a little quicker, assuming that you've heard the tune many times, like I was saying earlier, and lots of embellishments for you, and you can take or leave whatever you would like. So for the very first line, the pickup notes, we have that, starting on the up bow. Right, so we're going to keep our first on D here for the double stops for this whole next phrase, where we go. So that's up, up, down. One more time. So that's. And if you want to throw a hammer on in there, you can, like. Okay, and now we're going to go. Up, up. And then we have. So all those down bows there. So from the top we go. If anyone wants to try, you can always throw that in there at any time. I wouldn't do it every single time, but it's just an option. It's just your chords. All right, and then we have. So that's a big one there. Just try that. So we're droning and using our fourth on A to make it sound nice and full. And we have. So we're throwing our fourth on A in there, so we don't have to switch back and forth between the A and the E strings. So. You can drone that if you want. But you don't have to. Again. One more time. All right, so let's try that whole bit together. Lots of repetition coming here. And then we have. All right, so it's just the. That's the only thing that's different. Little hammer on. And if I didn't talk about what an actual hammer-on is. So it's just an embellishment coming from the note below. So you're kind of going. You're just kind of hammering on your finger from the note below it. So. that's all it is. All right, so that's the whole A part. Let's try it one more time just from the top. So. You can also do a little slide with your fourth on D to your A. Just kind of a nice little slide in, and you drone the two strings together, the D and the A, just get a nice full sound. Let's move into the B part. We just have from the top a grace note on our first on E if we want, and you can do a little staccato if you want. All right, you don't have to do that though. Just do that, and then we have so. You can also get a little drone with your third on A and your open D there. And then so that's down, down, and then a quick little hammer on there. And you can put it on either one of those second on A's, to be honest. You can put it on the last one there too. So either or. All right, and then we have, all right. Those two down bows. And then so let's just try those two notes, those two lines together. One more time. Okay, now we have lots of repetition in this next part. And then we have so those drones are optional, obviously. Sometimes it's tricky to get your A and your E to sound really nice together. Your fiddle has to be exactly in tune. So the intonation is important there. So let's try that little ending part, which is hammer on. One more time. Okay, let's try just that little bit there. So. And then back to the first part. And then that tag at the end. All right, so that's the whole B part. Let's try from the top of the B part. gosh, what a pretty tune, hey? So that's the whole bit. I have some practice tracks for you. Sheet music, fiddle tabs, all that stuff at thetuneroom.ca. And I'd highly recommend to listen to, obviously, the King, Jerry Holland, his version, and Andrea Beaton, and there's a few others out there as well. So in memory of Herbie MacLeod. And when you're on the Tune Room, feel free to check out any of the other tutorials. I think there's more than 80 or something like that, close to 90 now. So thanks again. My name is Tim Chaisson, and take care. We'll see you on the road. Hey guitar players, welcome to a really quick tutorial on how to play along to In Memory of Herbie MacLeod. It's a really simple tune. We're playing a waltz, which has the rhythm down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down. Just a quick little pickup there. I have a capo on my guitar, which I don't normally do actually for recording to fiddle tunes, but when tunes are so pretty, I find I can get better resonance whenever I'm playing in a G shape, so having G as my one chord rather than A, but that's just a personal preference. So I'll put the chords for, like, if you don't have a capo, above the sheet music in the tune room. But if you have an accessible capo, which I'm sure most guitar players do, I'd recommend trying it in G just because it kind of rings a bit nicer. So I'm in the key G, just G, D, G, C, G, E minor, D, G, D, D, C, G, D, G. B part is to the C. Back to C. Stay on the G, and then to D, G. That's it. And then you do that bit again, and then it goes back to the tag, which is back to the A part chords. You'll notice that on the preview recording at the beginning, I'm using a lot of susses. So that's a lot of suspension chords, which my G, I'm kind of keeping my pinky finger there, which is the definition of a suspension chord, I guess. And then I'm going back to my G, and then I'm doing my C sus as well. And then also my E minor sus is another one that I've been throwing in there too. And also this B, I guess you could maybe call it a B sus, I'm not 100% sure, but it's basically a G chord without your bass. So you're kind of getting like a walk-up chord. So sometimes I'll do that in replacement of the G, and that's a total personal preference wherever you want to throw those in. So have a look at the chords with the sheet music if you're unsure of where to change. But like I recommend for fiddle players, listen to it many times, and it'll be in your head just like a song. So you'll know when to change and when it doesn't feel right. So I hope that helped.